More than 11 centuries ago, something happened in Europe that has no direct analog in the history of human civilization. While many peoples borrowed foreign scripts or adapted already existing alphabets, one people got something different. He gets a writing system designed specifically for his language, his sounds, and his spiritual tradition. But this alphabet is not just a means of writing. It is an idea. It is a philosophy. It is a message. Every letter has a name. Every name carries a meaning, and when the names of the letters are arranged one after another, they form a text that sounds like a moral lesson to future generations. Who are the people who created this amazing work? Why does an alphabet become a symbol of spiritual independence? How do letters manage to survive through wars, empires, and entire eras? And is it possible that the alphabet itself contains a hidden message that continues to speak today? This is the story of the Bulgarian letters. A story of knowledge, faith, culture, and a heritage that changes the fate of millions of people. More than 10 centuries ago, in the heart of Europe, one of the most amazing spiritual phenomena of human culture was born: the alphabet that speaks. Unlike most writing systems, created solely as a system for recording sounds, the Bulgarian alphabet carries within itself a complete message. Every letter has a name, every name has a meaning. And when the names are arranged one after another, they build a kind of code of knowledge and morality. I am the books of the Vedas. This ancient formula combines language, philosophy, and spiritual teachings into one. I Buki Veda is not just the beginning of the alphabet. It is a symbolic beginning on the path to knowledge. With these words, the medieval student not only learned the first letters, he also uttered his first spiritual statement: I know the letters. In that era, letters were not simply signs for recording speech. They were a gateway to faith, wisdom, and truth. Thus, from their very first steps, the child was introduced to the idea that knowledge is sacred, words are a creative force, and thought is a path to goodness. This makes Azbuki Vedi not just an alphabetic beginning, but a spiritual code of Bulgarian culture. But to understand why this unusual writing system appeared in the first place, we need to go back to the 9th century. Europe was then a world of clashing empires, religions, and cultures. Christianity was spreading at an enormous rate. Rome and Constantinople sought to attract new peoples into their spiritual and political orbit. In this process, language becomes a weapon. Whoever controls the language of worship controls the spiritual life of the people. At that time, the peoples of Central and Eastern Europe used spoken languages. But they do not have their own developed literary tradition. The Greek and Latin alphabets cannot fully convey all the features of Old Bulgarian speech. Sounds such as esh, zhi, chi, sheks, and nasal vowels do not have exact correspondences. This created a huge problem. Without their own writing system, the people remained dependent on foreign languages and foreign spiritual centers. Around the middle of the 9th century, Prince Rostislav of Great Moravia sent a request to the Byzantine Emperor, Michael III. He wanted teachers who could preach in a language understandable to the people. Thus was born one of the most significant cultural missions in European history. Byzantium chose two exceptionally educated brothers from Thessaloniki, Constantine and Methodius. They knew the language of the Slavic-speaking population around Thessaloniki perfectly, and possessed the rare combination of theological knowledge, linguistic talent, and diplomatic skills. Constantine, who later took the monastic name Cyril, was considered one of the most brilliant scholars. From a young age, he taught philosophy in Constantinople and participated in complex diplomatic missions. His contemporaries called him the philosopher. History attributes the creation of the first Slavic alphabet, the Glagolitic, to him. This is one of the most impressive intellectual achievements of the Middle Ages. Unlike many other scripts which developed gradually over centuries, the Glagolitic script emerged as a complete system. It is carefully designed to reflect the sounds of the Old Bulgarian language. Each letter has its own shape. Each shape has its own logic. Many researchers have noticed that in the graphics of the letters, there are crosses and circles. The circle symbolizes eternity, the cross, salvation, the triangle, the Holy Trinity. Whether all these meanings were consciously inserted or not, one thing is certain: the The Glagolitic script was created not only as a practical tool, and as a cultural and spiritual project. Even more impressive is that each letter has its own name: I, books, Vedi, verbs, good, is, live, earth. These words form a kind of moral program. When read sequentially, they remind us of the value of knowledge, goodness, speech, and life. Something like this is almost never found in other alphabetic systems around the world. Here, the alphabet becomes a textbook of morality. After the creation of the Glagolitic script, a huge translation activity began. Cyril and Methodius translated liturgical books, parts of the Bible, and basic church texts. For the first time, thousands of people could hear the Christian message in a language they understood. This changes everything, because the word no longer belongs only to the educated elites. It reaches the people. This is where the revolutionary power of Bulgarian writing lies. It does not simply record words, it gives access to knowledge. And knowledge has always changed the world. In Great Moravia, the mission of the brothers eventually encountered severe political obstacles. After the death of Methodius, their students were subjected to persecution. Clement, Nahum, Angelarius, and the rest of their followers were persecuted, thrown into prison, and sold into slavery. At first glance, it seemed that the cause of Cyril and Methodius was doomed, but it was then that history took an unexpected turn. Bulgaria intervened. Prince Boris I, who had recently baptized the Bulgarian state and clearly understood the importance of education for the future of the people, received the students with honors. This decision would change the history of Europe. Instead of the work dying, it received a new life. It was in Bulgaria that the two great literary centers were created, the Ohrid and Preslav literary schools. Here, the true flowering of old Bulgarian literature began. Here, books are translated. Here, priests and writers are trained. Here, new works are created. It is here that the Cyrillic alphabet is formed, the writing system that will later spread among dozens of peoples. It would become one of the most widely used alphabets in the world. At the end of the 9th century, the Preslav Church and People's Council was held. This was one of the most important events in Bulgarian history. The new ruler, Simeon, a graduate of the Magnorian school in Constantinople, made decisions with enormous consequences. The Greek language was replaced in state administration and worship. Old Bulgarian became the official state and church language. The capital was moved from Pliska to Preslav. Thus, Bulgaria finally consolidated its new cultural and spiritual path. This act had no analog in Europe at that time. For the first time, a large country put its own language at the center. Gradually, the Cyrillic alphabet began to replace the Glagolitic alphabet. The reason was practical. Cyrillic letters were easier to write and more convenient for copying books. However, the Glagolitic alphabet did not disappear immediately. For a long time, it continued to be used as a more sacred script. In some monasteries and literary centers, it survived for centuries. Today, the oldest Glagolitic monuments are among the most valuable testimonies to the beginning of Slavic writing. The result of all these processes is the so-called Golden Age of Bulgaria. During the time of Tsar Simeon the Great, Bulgaria became one of the greatest cultural centers of Europe. Hundreds of books were created. Original works appeared. Theology, literature, philosophy, and science developed. It is no coincidence that it was from Bulgaria that the literary tradition reached Kievan Rus, Serbia, Wallachia, and other countries. Millions of people would begin to read and write, thanks to a tradition that began in Preslav and Ohrid. But now we come to the most interesting part of the story, the secret hidden in the alphabet itself. The Glagolitic alphabet was not created as a random series of characters. The names of the letters form a coherent text, a kind of acrostic. A message to everyone who is starting to learn. This is one of the most original achievements in the history of writing. The alphabet does not just teach how to write, it teaches how to live. In the first part, the promise of the student stands out. Me, books, Vedas, verbs. Good, is. The meaning is clear. I know the letters. To speak the word is good. From the very beginning, literacy is presented as a supreme value. Knowledge is good. The word is good. Education is good. The second part contains moral guidance: live, deed, earth, eat, how, people, think, hour, on, peace. The message can be conveyed like this: live with dignity on earth. Think like people, seek the good, and find peace in God. Here the moral character of the alphabet is clearly seen. It is not just a teaching tool, it is a moral program. The third part is a call to action. Hands, word, firmly. Or, speak the word firmly, defend the truth, stand up for knowledge. This is a kind of testament to future generations, not to give up the truth even in difficult times. The last part is the most difficult to interpret. It contains letters that we no longer use today, nasal vowels, and special signs from the old Bulgarian language. Their meaning is a subject of scientific debate to this day. But many researchers see in them the end of the philosophical picture, a message about the fruits of knowledge, about spiritual maturity, and about the relationship between man and God. Here we must note something important. In world history, there is almost no other alphabet whose letters form a coherent moral text. The Phoenician alphabet was created for trade, the Latin for administration and government, the Greek for literature and philosophy. But the Bulgarian written tradition creates something different, an alphabet that simultaneously educates, and inspires. That is why it has survived so long. Over the centuries, Bulgaria has experienced invasions, wars, political catastrophes, and foreign rule. Countries disappear, borders change, empires are born and fall, but the letters remain. They pass through monasteries, schools, and literary centers. They are copied from generation to generation. They preserve the memory of the people. It is through them that history, culture, and language survive. Today, when we use the word alphabet, we unconsciously continue to pronounce the first two words of this ancient message: me, books, the alphabet. Thus, every day we repeat words created more than 11 centuries ago, words that carry the memory of one of the greatest cultural achievements of the Middle Ages. And perhaps this is where the true power lies. They are not just a means of writing, they are a bridge between generations, between the past and the future, between knowledge and spirituality, between man and the Word, when we talk about the greatest achievements of human civilization. We usually think of great empires, grandiose buildings, or famous rulers. But history shows that truly lasting victories aren't always achieved with armies. Sometimes they're achieved with letters. More than 11 centuries ago, Cyril, Methodius, and their students created more than just a writing tool. They created a tool for preserving memory, a tool that allowed a people to record their history, their laws, their faith, and their ideas in their own language. Few peoples in the world can pinpoint the exact moment they received their writing. Even fewer can trace the names of the people. The Bulgarian literary tradition is among these rare exceptions. Its influence far exceeds the borders of medieval Bulgaria. From Preslav and Ohrid, letters take a long journey. They reach Kievan Rus, to Serbia, to Wallachia, to vast territories of Eastern Europe. Over time, hundreds of millions of people began to use an alphabet whose roots lead to the work of Bulgarian writers. Today, the Cyrillic alphabet is one of the most widespread writing systems in the world. It is used by dozens of countries and hundreds of millions of people. But behind every modern text, there is a much deeper history. A story about faith, about knowledge, about enlightenment, about people who believed that every people has the right to hear the word in their own language. This is an idea that is changing Europe. That is why the work of Cyril and Methodius is not just a Bulgarian or Slavic heritage. It is part of the cultural history of all humanity. And perhaps the most amazing thing is that after so many centuries, the message remains the same. Knowledge is power, words matter, memory must be preserved, and man becomes truly free when he can read, think, and pass on knowledge. That's why Bulgarian letters are not just signs on paper. They are a connection between generations, the voice of the past, and one of the most valuable legacies left to us by the Middle Ages. If you found this video interesting, support the channel by liking and sharing. Write in the comments which part of the history of Bulgarian writing impressed you the most. Subscribe so you don't miss our next films. Thank you.